Hello, beautiful people. Hope you're doing well. Hope you had a good weekend, a good Sunday, and a good Saturday. Oh, I was going to put my other glasses on today for a change. Let's change them. Let's have a you should be able to hear me okay, because I see the microphone blippy thing is going up and down. Let me get my slow computer up and running. I won't be a second, guys. Got some stuff and nonsense to chat with you about today. Lots of stuff and nonsense. Stuff and nonsense has been coming up on my feed. I always like to go through all the rags on a Sunday. And because I look at a lot of, local papers and things, so I get a load of shit on that, which is great for when I do my stuff and nonsense. And to be honest, most of my shows are all shit anyway. So, well, all about shit. All about stuff that I try and talk about stuff that other commentators don't talk about, because otherwise, it gets too samey. And I like differences. I like to be different. So you will see that I have put up a poll at the top of the chat, and I have asked a question: which is your favorite season? Spring, summer, autumn, or winter? So go and click on which one is your favorite. So far, we have nobody liking winter. Am I surprised? Not in the least. We've got 33% for spring, 33% for summer, and 33% for autumn. Oh, it's just gone up. 43% for autumn, 29% for summer, and 29% for spring. So it seems more people like autumn. Okay, I'll tell you what my favorite season is at the end of tonight's live stream. No makeup tonight. I've got my usual Sunday deep moisturizing stuff on my face, which makes me itch a little bit. So I use a concoction of sorry guys, I don't know what I'm doing here. I never know what I'm doing, do I? I'm really bad at computer stuff. I use almond oil, and then I use Superdrug, do a really nice keep on or stay on moisture mask, which is really nice. So I've got the moisture mask on the top of that. So hopefully by the time I finish the live stream, sorry, there's fur. There's always fur on my face. Cat fur, because cats. This afternoon you would have laughed. I've had to shut the door. I had to shut the door because Fern, Mommy Fern, she purrs so loud and I love her to bits, but she kept jumping up on my desk, and then she was helping me internettings, and she kept rubbing her head on the keyboards and changing things and hitting buttons, and I saw all sorts of weird stuff going on. So yeah, she cut the screen in half. I don't know, I mean, not literally cut it in half, but like, what has she done? How does she know what buttons to press? She knows more about computers than I do. So that's been my day. You will have seen, I don't know if I put it up today, actually, my run today. I don't think I did. I ran nearly 4 kilometers today. I went up to the woods, did a trip around the woods, very muddy, very, very muddy. So I was very slow in the woods because I had to walk several places. If I'd have run, I would have slipped and landed on my arse, and I didn't fancy injuring myself before my race next Saturday. And then I ran up the big hill. Not the one that was on the short video yesterday, not that big hill, another big hill, which is one of those that I've been, training on for a long time now. And my mission was to get up to the top of the hill, which I've been doing for a while. Now it's getting up the hill faster and not dying when I get to the top, basically, that sort of having no breath and being able to carry on running, because it's a downhill after that, which is great. But you get to the top and you want to stop because you are so tired. But if you do that, then you lose that momentum. So let's see who is in the chat. Thanks for joining, guys. Really appreciate it this evening. Pete, hi, lovely. Good to see you. Your favorite season is autumn. You love the colors and the smells. Misty, mysterious days, and also love a motorbike ride on a cold, crisp morning. Getting suited up. I love the sound of the crows early morning. That sounds really, really good, doesn't it? I do like those cool, crisp mornings. And that smell that you get in autumn of sort of everything starting to decompose almost. And it's just that, it's like a peppery smell. I don't know if anybody else gets that or if it's just me. And I've got loads of crows behind me, so they make a huge amount of noise. Sorry if the thing's wobbling. I've just noticed if I move my arms, the thing wobbles. Hi, our Sophie, lovely to see you. Always love the sunshine in the summer. I love the sunshine in summer. I love the colour of the sky in summer, that blue. It's a different shade of blue in winter to what it is in summer. It's really that the blue of summer is so much different. Someone mentioned the smell of fall. I love the smell of summer also. Yeah, that smell of honeysuckle and roses and those fresh flowers on the breeze, and then hay fever. So then you can't smell a thing. Hi, Chris C. Lovely to see you. You're my shield, my protector. I don't know why shields have come up again. You know, YouTube changes stuff, doesn't it? L, lovely to see you, my darling. I put summer, it used to be spring, but I developed SAD in the last 10 years, which affects me in spring and autumn. Spring ain't as hot. Yeah, I understand the SAD thing. I struggle with the darker days as well, but I have noticed this week that the evenings are getting lighter. You know, it's staying lighter for longer, which is a positive sign. And don't forget, on the 21st of March, it's the equinox. So it's equal day, equal night, which is brilliant. But time passes far too quickly, doesn't it? Oh, bless you, Elle. Thank you for choosing the right stream this evening. Bless you. Hi, Billy. Lovely to see you. Thanks for joining. My mate has SAD as well. Audio good, thank you, Elle. You know, I'm on top chat instead of all chat. I do it every time. Every time. No shields here. 2 spanners. I don't know, maybe it's who knows? Who knows what it is? Me and computers, as you guys know, I am not good with the things. They are evil. They are from hell. Hang on, I'm going scrolling back up here, scrolling back up because I've missed people. I know I have missed totem photos. Lovely to see you, Tammy. Thank you for joining. Who have I missed? Who have I missed? Hi, Draco. Lovely to see you. And Alexis, fabulous for joining. Got a load of stuff and lots of nonsense to talk about today. And I don't need makeup. No excuses. Oh, I do need makeup. I look at myself in the mirror and think, where did my youth go? Elle says, autumn nice, crisp, fresh air after stuffy summer, winter cold, spring is a relief after cold winter. Looks brighter and summer coming, summer here, okay, turn down the heat. Yeah. And I know Totem and I were chatting earlier on, and how hot is it there today, Totem? What temperature is it? I know you work in Celsius as well as us here in the UK and not Fahrenheit like the Americans do. We've got rats and is that mice or rats? And we've got hedgehogs and badgers, and Spike is here. Nessie is here. Fern decided they needed to go on a walk earlier on, so I had to retrieve them because they were all over the place. Hi, Mithril, lovely to see you. Summer because it's when my breathing is at its easiest. Interesting. Yeah, Mithril, don't you suffer with asthma as well? I'm sure you said you suffer with asthma, or is it COPD the same as me? Yeah. Let's have a look. Have I missed anybody? Chris says, I love autumn as it signals the end to the hot summer months, which I don't deal with. I also love winter when it's crisp cold, not this damp cold. Yeah. Pete, the smell of autumn is awesome. It is. I walk because, you know, I go to the woods nearly every day. If I could live in the center of a wood, I would. I would live in the center of a wood. I would. It's that smell. Certain trees, as the leaves are starting to decay, have a peppery smell, and it's like I smell that and it's like, yeah, that's a sort of end of summer to me. Let's have a look. Have I missed anybody? Hi, Stephen. Lovely to see you. Thank you for joining. Lovely to see you. Spring for you, Stephen. Oh, so nice to see you here, Stephen. I did see a comment that you put up earlier. I know that I've seen loads of comments from you guys, and I really, really do appreciate them. If I haven't responded to them, it's because I've actually, surprise, surprise, been doing housework, 2 loads of washing, all the dishes, and I finally took down my goth Christmas tree. Finally got there. Hi, Alistair. Lovely to see you. Thank you for joining. Just popping in to like and say hi. You're modding on Politics Social. Tell Diz I send my love, and I hope she gets some confetti. Chrissy, my heart condition hates the heat and also hates the cold. Yeah, as where I prefer the cold. Who have I missed? Okay. Thank you, Elle. Yes, please hit the like button, guys. If you would like to comment, you will need to subscribe to the channel and wait a minute, and then you'll be able to comment. But I must warn you that my moderators are very, very good at what they do, and we don't take any nonsense. I do talk nonsense, but we don't take any nonsense in the chat. So if you are going to troll, don't bother. They will lower those spanners and remove you from the chat. If you do want to say something that's controversial to what I say or what people in the chat say, you are welcome to say it, but in a polite way, if you wouldn't mind. I'm waving to Viper Scott. I think you're on your way over to Politics Social. I did see that Graham was live tonight, but I like my Sunday evening live stream. So, and Pete, thank you. You don't know what that means to me, Pete. You really do not know what that means to me. Thank you. It does mean a lot. It really, really does. Don't cry, Debs. Don't cry. You don't want red eyes. Oh, quick question. Some of you may know the answer to this. Right, so I have this water bottle for running. I've got another one in green, but I prefer the purple. Now, the tops are the same, but one of the tops, when I fell, that run that I did in, was it early December, late November, early December, it split the lid. I don't know if you can see there, the lid. There, can you see that split on the lid? So I was wondering if I use super glue, will it work? Obviously not when it's wet. I'm not going to drink out of the thing when the super glue is wet, because that would just be stupid. But yeah, if you have any idea, let me know what I could repair it with. I love it. Trolls will be dealt with fairly and swiftly. All trolls are treated equally. You will be muted and booted with no right of appeal, no ifs, no buts. Heat the plastic with a soldering iron. If I had a soldering iron, my ex, when he left, took all of the tools. Yeah, very annoyed. Very, very annoyed. So I've had to buy some. I might know somebody with a soldering iron that can bring it round and help me. Would a lighter work? Just a thought. But I know soldering irons get hotter. So, right. So, onto my stuff and nonsense. I'm not going to talk about what's just happened today with McSweeney leaving. It's a good thing. I think we all agree with that. I'm just not going to discuss it. There are other people that will be discussing that over the coming days. That's their job. So I want to talk about fun stuff. However, there is one story here that is to do with the Epstein files, which is really funny. And she's messed it up. Not me, the cat. She's messed it up. Because now it's not working. Right, here we go. So this was in the Mirror that I saw this morning. She really has messed it up. I don't know what she's done. My cat, I mean. So it was in the Mirror this morning. Andrew's ex-girlfriend insists Jeffrey Epstein is not dead and shares Israel theory. Now, I don't know if you guys have seen that picture of the supposed picture of Epstein in Israel with a beard and so on. It's fake. It is fake. I have researched that. It is definitely fake. But Lady Victoria Hervey has claimed Jeffrey Epstein is not dead and was instead involved in an elaborate plot to escape prison and flee to Israel. Now, look, guys, we've seen those photos of him looking not alive, but also looking not dead. And I've looked at a few. There's a mortician that I follow. I know. I follow all sorts of very bizarre channels. She's really good. And she was going through the sort of rigor mortis kind of effects that happen. And she was quite sort of, this can happen. This can happen. So you follow her as well, Chris C. Yeah, she's brilliant. She's brilliant. She's absolutely brilliant. Bottle lid, heater, knife or such on a cooker ring will work 100%, works for motorcycle fairings. Will it work on an electric cooker ring? That's it. It's an electric cooker. It's not a gas cooker. Although I do have my camping heaters and camping stoves. I've got 3. One doesn't work, but the other 2 do work. So I can use one of them, and I've got gas canisters as well. Yeah, Hervey, the one defending Prince, formerly known as Andrew, or Andrew formerly known as Prince, as Hebephile. Interesting. Tip of fork and a flame, less lighters or 2. Okay. He's actually Trump. He made Trump suit out of his prison outfit. No, Trump is Trump. I don't think anybody else in this world could possibly be Trump. I mean, there are some brilliant artists out there who portray Trump and are so good at what they do. They really sound like him. And a lot of people do sound like him. And the strange thing is, every time I make myself a cup of coffee, I call it coffee. Remember when he was tweeting way back, beginning of COVID, and my live streams, it would be morning coffee when I'd live stream on Facebook back then. And I still use that term. So apparently he it's instead part of an intricate scheme to escape prison and abscond to another country. She has maintained that Epstein could still be alive and well after being swapped out by a trip van in a conversation with LBC presenter Tom Swarbrick. I'm sure he had a laugh at that. Andrew's ex-girlfriend dropped this bombshell seemingly out of nowhere. Lady Hervey added, I don't think Jeffrey Epstein's dead anymore, to be honest. So he's not dead anymore. He was dead and he has risen. And we are actually coming up to Shrove Tuesday, aren't we, and Lent. So perhaps it's a joke. But that's a bit of nonsense for today. Now I'm going to come to reading your star signs, and these are brilliant. These are all 100% accurate. So I'm going to go through them from house 1 through to house 12. So house 1 is Aries. Your feline friends can't get enough of your charm this week, but they will still knock your coffee off the table. Embrace your catitude. Taurus, this is me. You are far too stubborn to accept that the best before date on that yogurt was 3 weeks ago. Eat it anyway for a thrill. And you know what? That is 100% accurate. I only throw yogurt away when there's stuff growing on it, and you can visibly see the stuff growing on it. Gemini, 3rd house. Both of your personalities have agreed to take a nap on Wednesday. The rest of the week will be a coin flip. So Wednesday, you may not be functioning. Cancer, you will spend the week crying over a video of a baby penguin, not because it's sad, but because you wish you were a baby penguin. Leo, You are powerful and charismatic, but that won't stop you from arguing with a self-checkout machine. I can see that. I can definitely see a Leo doing that. Virgo, your desire for perfection will lead you to re-alphabetize your spice rack. Too bad you don't actually cook. Libra, the balance sign. Your search for balance will lead you to try yoga, but you'll give up after realizing you can't hold a pose and browse your phone simultaneously. You could. I could actually teach that. Could teach that. Scorpio, you will receive high praise for something trivial like your firm handshake, making you feel like a corporate spy. Sagittarius, half man, half horse, licensed to shit in the street. You will ask the universe a question and the answer is no. Specifically regarding the third cup of coffee. No. Capricorn, you will spend all week planning your future, but will fail to notice your coffee mug is empty. So you need to go and speak to Sagittarius and get that extra coffee. Aquarius, where are you, Aquarius? You cannot prevent the grilled cheese from burning on Thursday. Just order a pizza, you rebel. And the 12th house, Pisces, your diet will consist entirely of cheese crackers and rye chips. The stars approve of this snack choice. I hope you've written them down and paid attention to them so you know what to expect this coming week. I do believe in star signs, I do, but I also love the funny side of it as well. I do. I think, sometimes you've got to have a giggle, but mine was absolutely 100% correct. It's like, yeah, I have yogurt in the fridge, still sealed yogurts that have been there for, I don't know, a few months, and I'll open them, and if they're edible, I'll eat them. What's the worst that can happen? Let's have a look at some of the comments here. Yes, right. I'm back to where I was. He's actually Trump. Oh, Epstein's actually Trump. Okay. Right. I get you. Sorry, guys. I'm just smiling at some of them. Hi, Kirsty. Thank you for joining, my darling. Lovely to see you here. Or even a spankering. Naughty, naughty. There's a guy that works down the chip shop, swears he's Elvis. If you know, you know. Who sang it? Was it, who was it that sang that song? I vaguely remember it being a woman. She had quite a Cockney accent, I think. But I do know that. Chrissy, curious about what happens after we die. Give Lauren the mortician of you over it. She's brilliant. I highly recommend Lauren. She is brilliant. She really is brilliant. She's also got this very dark sense of humor. Oh, it's so nice seeing everybody say hello to each other and, just being so nice with each other and to each other. Pancakes, yes. Mithril, I was talking about pancakes to my mum because I can make my own pancakes mixture, but pancakes for one. I can make pancake mixture for two people or more, but there's always too much. So I'm going to buy ready-made pancakes. I'm going to cheat this year because there'll just be so much left over. The problem is as well, when you're doing pancakes, it is such a faff. Getting the oil red hot, tipping it out, putting the mixture in, doing the thing, getting it right, flipping it over. And no, I wouldn't even try that. My ceiling is not high enough. It's barely higher than my head. I'm 6 foot, by the way, in my bare feet. So yeah, it's about that much higher than my head. I have to be really careful when I'm doing my stretches in the morning. It's because it's actually a dropped ceiling because my bedroom is above it, and that's a higher part of the house. It's all very bizarre. This house is like wonky, very, very wonky. So I'm going to be buying them, and then it's like deciding what you're going to put on them. Now, traditionally, I will actually ask this question in the next poll, I think. what I like on my pancakes is squeezed orange and a bit of sugar. That's my favourite. Let's have a look. Kirsty, you're struggling with your spine at the moment. Oh no, Kirsty, that's not good. That's not good at all. There's a girl down the bakery who thinks she's Kirsty McCall. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, it is. Yeah, bless her. She did pass, didn't she? Rest in peace, Kirsty. Didn't she also sing New England with Billy Bragg? Was it Billy Bragg? I don't want to save the world. I'm just looking for a New England. I think, I don't know. I don't know. That was a bit flat at the end there. Sorry, guys. Kirsty, you've got, you can freeze pancakes. Ah, I didn't know that. And I have new Tupperware. My sister got me a big set of Tupperware for Christmas, or my mum, one or the other, you know, with the, haven't opened it yet because when the ex left, he took stuff and nothing matches. The making of pancakes is part of the fun and messy ritual and makes the eating more satisfying. It does. Hang on, I've got to go scroll back up because I missed this. Claire has settled down and a little princess, and I'm so glad she's settled down. That's wonderful news. That's wonderful news, Stephen. I'm so glad. So glad. And you get mango kisses from Mango the Pug on Morbid Monday videos. Oh, okay. I don't think I've watched those ones. Christy. Sorry, guys, scrolling down now. The making of pancake. Yep, said that one. I will only have caster sugar and lemon juice on pancakes. I've also got lemon juice and I've got one fresh lemon left, so I need to buy some more lemons. Brown sugar. Rolling Stones has just come into my head now. I did actually see the Rolling Stones when I lived in South Africa. They played at, what's the stadium called in Joburg? Tammy, if you're still watching, what's that stadium called? I can't remember. Not the Standard Bank Arena as it used to be, the other one where they play rugby and footy. Yeah, they played there and it was brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. Was taken from us too soon. She did die a hero, definitely. And she sang on Fairy Tale of New York. And must say that I have to give that song a miss. There is a reason behind it, but I'm not going to go into that today. Greaseproof paper sheets. Greaseproof paper sheets. What am I using greaseproof paper sheets for? I'm obviously missing something. Okay, something about a boat, Mexican Playboy and a speedboat. Okay, really? Wow, that's wow. Yeah, I think he did, Billy. I think he did write an extra version. You know, that man and his you know, it's that Bruce Springsteen song that he did for Nicole and Pretty, I think his name was Pretty. So Bob Dylan-y, and Billy Bragg's like the British version of Bob Dylan. But I also like New Model Army because they're also very much a sort of protest band. And it's those Ellis Park. Thank you, Kirsty. That's the one. The card spoke. I knew it'd take time, Stephen. I think most of us who have cats know that. I mean, now my Thorn, he gets on my knee every day now, where he never used to. He used to sit on the floor or sit next to me. Now he wants to get on my knee. And it's not just the cold. Between the pancakes, Chrissy, of course. The lady at the bakery who thinks she's Kirsty McCall baked pancakes. She leaves the bread for the baking man who's baking bread. Between the Wars live on Top of the Pops is cracking. I don't know. Oh, Between the Wars. Is that Billy Bragg, or is it New Model? I don't think it's a New Model Army song, is it? No. My favourite New Model Army song, if anybody listens to them, is The Green and the Grey. A lot of people would think Vagabonds, or, you know, because it's 51st State, but The Green and the Grey. I've actually got my stuff signed by Julian from New Model Army. I met him twice. He played in South Africa. The band did an acoustic set at the one club, and then they did an electronic set at another place. Starmer has appointed Jill Cuthbertson and Vidya Alexson as acting chiefs of staff. Okay, don't know who either of them are. You know, so I'm sure I'll find out who they are. I'm not going to Google it now because I have some more stories for you. I am coming to some more nonsense. This is so funny. This came up on my feed. Full warning issued over humans reproducing in space. Where do these people get this crap from? This is actually in the Independent, and it's written by Andrew Griffin from Thursday, the 5th of February. I didn't get a chance to put all of these onto the chat before I started, but I'll pop them all on afterwards so you can go and have a look. So this is just some points, some highlights from the whole thing. Experts are urging researchers to urgently consider how humans can reproduce in space as the prospect has shifted from abstract possibility to practical concern. It just shows that humans just can't stop doing it. A new study co-authored by a NASA scientist highlights the lack of clear standards for managing human fertility and reproductive health beyond Earth. Space presents a hostile environment with known challenges to reproductive health, including altered gravity, increased radiation, and disrupted sleep cycles. Researchers warn against exploring space without addressing these reproductive questions, advocating for proactive solutions rather than reactive ones. The study calls for international collaboration to close critical knowledge gaps and establish ethical guidelines to protect astronauts and safeguard humanity's sustained presence beyond Earth. First question that comes to my mind is, has anybody had sex in space yet? I'm pretty sure they probably have, you know. I don't know. So lack of clear standards for managing human fertility and reproductive health. Well, you know, the pill and condoms. Space presents a hostile environment with known challenges to reproductive health, including altered gravity, increased radiation, and disrupted sleep cycles. And yeah, I know this, you know, from watching lots of sci-fi movies, because they are really accurate these days, because they've been there. They've been there. That the gravity is not the same as it is on Earth, so bones will not grow in the same way, and the muscles will atrophy. So we see that when astronauts come back to Earth, a lot of them can't walk because the muscles have atrophied. Even if they do exercise in space, there is not that weight on us that we have, you know, being pulled towards the Earth. So the Earth is constantly pulling us down and we're constantly pushing away. That's what makes running so hard. Researchers warn against exploring space without addressing these reproductive questions, advocating for proactive solutions rather than reactive ones. But we can't even get further than the moon yet. So should we be worrying about that right now? Probably not. I'm pretty sure at some stage. But isn't the space station being dismantled? I'm sure I read that the other day, that the space station is being dismantled. But I'm sure somebody has possibly done tests on mice and stuff up there, and, you know, the growth of babies. International collaboration to close critical knowledge gaps and establish ethical guidelines to protect astronauts and safeguard humanity's sustained presence beyond Earth. I'm pretty sure that the rest of the universe does not want humanity beyond Earth, because we are a scourge. We are a scourge on the planet. There's a song by Filter. I don't know if anybody knows Filter, one of my favorite bands. They're a grunge band, but a bit more rocky than grunge. And one of the songs is about humans being a cancer on Earth. Does sperm lack navigational skills in zero gravity? I love that. I love that. That is a really good question. Yes, ISS is coming to the end of its natural life. Yeah, I thought I saw that. Science fiction always becomes science fact, and it has progressed way too quickly. I agree with you, Stephen. I agree with you. I mean, you know, going back to Blade Runner, Philip Dick, was he the author for the book, Do Robots Dream of Electric Sheep? I think that was the title of it, you know, talking about the fact that we now have these robots. I took a job in a toy factory making little plastic Draculas, only 2 of us in the production line, so I had to make every second count. That's a good one. I love that. I do love that. I absolutely love Knock Me Up, Scotty. Oh, God, I love you guys. NASA has established procedures, guidelines, and active research initiatives for the reproductive health of its astronauts and employees. We can't keep humanity safe on terra firma, never mind space. Yeah. Hi, Jim. Lovely to see you. Thanks for joining. Yeah, that's it, isn't it? We just, you know, and I wonder if, as a woman, ovulation and menstruation, I remember reading, this is in that book that I'm still busy reading at the moment because it's quite heavy going, Invisible Women, that when the first astronaut went up into space, I can't remember how many days they were going up for, but they said to her, I can't remember how many hundreds of tampons or pads they said, would it be enough for the time that she was going to be in space? And it was quite funny. It was like, you do realize that women don't have menstrual cycles all the time. The jokes are coming in thick and fast. Killing Joke, I am the virus, basically saying that humanity is a virus. Love Killing Joke. Love Killing Joke. Hi, Sir Larry the Cat. Thanks for joining. Favorite Killing Joke, Love Like Blood. And I do like 80s. I have Love Like Blood on a 12-inch extended mix. Let's listen to that later. It's one of those that you can put on and it just brings back those memories of the 80s and being at a club in Joburg called the Dirt Box. Wasn't really supposed to go because I was very young, but used to love it. Used to love going there. I'm pretty sure I've missed quite a few comments, so I do apologise. Just scrolling back up. Yeah, does sperm lack navigation skills? That's what I was going to say. Do ovaries, do the eggs that do they recognize gravity? Would the egg, if it was fertilized, connect to, the placenta? Would it connect to the wall of the womb or the uterus? It's quite interesting to see how it would affect. It would be more cosmic radiation that would impact reproductive health, more the lack of gravity and sleep cycles. Yeah, like you say, cosmic radiation, any radiation really, because that is going to unalive the sperm and the ovaries, as we know that happens from working with nuclear stuff and X-rays. 10 Mile High Club. I like that. Oh, Kirsty. Just seen that comment now. I'm not repeating it, but it's really funny. Scroll back up if you want to read it, guys. Where do we find these people? Which people? Which people? The people in the chat or the people writing the articles? Or me? Right, so gonna come to some other stuff now, also from space. This is from IFL Science. What time are we on? I've got time. IFL Science, and this showed up on my feed. I think it was last night, actually. You know, when you can't sleep and you're scrolling through stuff, and it's no date on here that I can see. Amateur astronomers detect signal coming from Voyager 1 spacecraft 25 billion kilometers away. Wow. 1977, Voyager 1 went into space. 1977. This is written by James Felton. He's a senior staff writer. Amateur astronomers using the Dwingeloo, I like that, Dwingeloo Radio Observatory in the northeastern Netherlands have picked up a signal from NASA's Voyager 1 spacecraft over 25 billion kilometers. That's 15 billion miles away. The Voyager probes launched in 1977 have performed spectacularly well over nearly half a century, flying past various planetary bodies and studying them before continuing to the outer reaches of the solar system. Voyager 1, the first of the two probes to launch, is now 171 astronomical units, that's AUs, from Earth, where 1 AU is the average distance from Earth to the sun. What I find interesting is that thing is still going, and it's not fallen to pieces yet. So, you know, is it that old technology is better than new technology, you know, as in the building of the spaceships and the craft, rather than the new stuff that is built? Just asking questions. Because when we think of it, Apollo, which Apollo was it? Was it Apollo 9 that landed on the moon? And, you know, that was a rickety thing. And the computer was very, you know, compared to what we have today. And yet since then, no other spacecraft has landed on the moon. I believe that they are going to be doing some more moon landings at some stage in the very near future. I think, Chris, you mentioned it the other week. So, yeah, that'll be interesting to see. On November the 13th of this year, that's 2025, Voyager 1 is, this year, 2026, sorry. Voyager 1 is expected to hit a new landmark for humanity, the first time a human-made object has reached a full light day from Earth. When that happens, it will never be possible to communicate with the probe from Earth without factoring a full day's travel time for the signal. While a resounding success, the probes are starting to show some signs of wear and tear. After 50 years, no, do not do this now. Sorry, computer wants to update. Computer can go away. A diminishing fuel supply has taken its toll, forcing NASA to shut down scientific instruments to keep the rest of the craft running. There have also been several glitches, with Voyager 1 sending back a garbled pattern of zeros and ones for a time due to corrupted memory, then shutting down its main transmitter entirely. The latter problem was solved in October 2024 by switching temporarily to a transmitter not used since 1981. Since then, communication with the aging spacecraft has been steady, with NASA's Deep Space Network regularly receiving data from both probes. It's no easy feat given the distances involved. The antennas must capture Voyager information from a signal so weak that the power striking the antenna is only 10 exponent, that's 16 watts, 1 part in 10 quadrillion, NASA explains. I can't even comprehend those numbers. Those numbers are just so big. NASA explains a modern-day electronic digital watch operates at a power level 20 billion times greater than this feeble level. Wow. So that thing is still out there, still searching. It's really interesting. I find that interesting. I don't know if you guys find it interesting. You might think, what the bloody hell is she on about now? It was built with backups for the backups and a plutonium-238 power source. The computers have failed on several occasions and NASA have powered down all non-essential equipment. Chris, you are like an encyclopedia. Brilliant. Thank you for that. That's just, yeah. It's just amazing that that is 50 years old next year and it's still going. It hasn't yet fallen to pieces. It's like old cars. Old cars last far longer than new cars. The metal is thicker. You know, new cars, when you have an accident in them or hit something, the metal crumples. Old cars, it's just a ding. Muskrat can't even get a rocket out of the atmosphere, and Bezos has cock rockets. Yep. 233, yeah, non-binary. Okay. Wasn't Voyager the spaceship from Star Trek the one that discovered in the future? Yes, it was. It was, but that's a different Voyager. They Star Trek copied Voyager, because back in 1977 it was still the original Star Trek, I'm sure. Chris is our organic Google. He certainly is, Pete. I mean, I could Google it, but it's nice to have somebody doing that work. Chris, you need to be on the phone so you can speak in a little thing in my ear and I can, you know, like a little, what do you call it? A person who knows what they're doing, basically. USS Voyager was flung 70,000 light years into the Delta Quadrant, sorry. Volvos were made from sheet steel. Yeah, I can believe that, because they were one of the ones that were like the safest car for years, weren't they? It was like, if you're going to drive a safe car, drive a Volvo. And I remember my old Ford. I had a Ford Laser, which is, you didn't get the Ford Laser here. It was the same as a Mazda 323, same body. Again, I don't think you got that here either. It was made specifically for the South African market, but my Ford had a steel body, and yeah, brilliant. Lasted me forever. I wouldn't have gotten rid of it. I loved that car. Well, the space shuttle design was based on X-Men comic. Not surprised, Kirsty. The Witch's own personal producer. That's it. You need to be my producer. Thank you. Now I've got that song in my mind. Da, da, da. Give me the producer. Da, da. I can't remember who sang that either. If anybody knows, I'm sure Chris will know and he can Google it and let me know. You want another Saab? Best, most solid car I ever had. Sir Larry surplus sheets from the Panzer factory. Voyager needed Unimatrix 0 to get home. Voyager seeks the creator, Star Trek 1. Ooh, Alex, interesting. Was that in the original Star Trek series? Interesting. Look at how much metal is between the front of a Volvo and the driver. Exactly. That's it. That's it. Exactly. I mean, you know, when I look at, I've got a Ford now. It was my dad's car. It's a C-Max. And I open the engine and it's like, you know, everything's so compact that if you're going to do a head-on collision, everything's just going to come back into you. Yeah. If I remember rightly, Volvo was the first maker to include side impact protection zones as standard, as well as airbags. Yes, they did. They did. Oh, Star Trek the motion picture. Okay. Star Trek movie. Okay. I'm sorry, guys. I was not a Trekkie. I'm a Star Wars fan. But only the first 3 movies, which actually the second 3 movies, but you know, I went to see Star Wars at the cinema with my dad and my sister when it first came out. It was absolutely brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. Loved it, loved it, loved it. I've seen that movie so many times over the years, and Empire Strikes Back and Return of the Jedi as well. Just love those 3 movies. The newer stuff, I'm not keen on. And to be honest, I haven't seen the prequels, and I haven't seen the new one with Harrison Ford back in it again. So yeah. Star Trekking across the universe, always going forward because we can't find reverse. Was that also the one where they sing Klingons on the starboard bow, starboard bow, starboard bow? I used to love that. Volvo, built like a tank, endorsed by Clarkson for a teenager's first car. Well, Clarkson can go fuck himself. Sorry, I don't like him. I do not like him. He's a dickhead. Sorry. I know some people do like him, but I don't. I did used to watch quite a few episodes of Top Gear with my dad sometimes before Clarkson became an absolute plank. Star Wars was at Eastgate in South Africa. I used to work in Eastgate, Kirsty. I used to work at the CNA downstairs, and then I worked at Musica upstairs. Well, it's life, Jim, but not as we know it, not as we know it, not... Love it. And daylight running lights that can't be switched off, and I'm sure they made the first crash test dummies. Yeah, but crash test dummies, and that's another thing where we come into the feminist thing. Sorry, got to bring it up. Where crash test dummies are male, not female. So when it comes to a woman being involved in a head-on collision and the safety belt being across the boobs, it can cause damage that it doesn't cause in a man. And a lot of women, I mean, I'm 6 foot tall, so my body is pretty similar size to that of a man's. I have to have my chair fall back. I have to have it bottom seat all the way back, and I like to drive like that. I like to stretch my arms out, and then I can put my hands at the bottom of my steering wheel. I know I'd fail. If I had to do my license today, I would fail. And then, of course, when you've got a cat on your knee and you're driving with one hand and trying to eat an apple at the same time, it's all very difficult. Where am I? Comedians in tonight. Yeah, always a good laugh. A test of musical knowledge, which is Spiz Energy wears Captain Kirk. I don't know that one. Samuel Alderson invented the first crash test dummies to test aircraft ejection seats. Thank you, Chris, the producer. I have to find out who sang that song. I'm sorry, guys. It's now stuck in my head, and I'm going to have to find it and play it later on tonight. It's an old song. It's from the 80s. Let's have a look if it comes up. No, that's from 2019. This is from the 80s. No. No. It's bringing me gimme a man after midnight. So no, it's not. I'm going to have to really Google this and have a look. And I've got a friend who I can ask because he used to DJ at Dirtbox years ago. It was like a sort of ska kind of band that did it, and I cannot remember who it was. What song are we looking for, Kirsty? I cannot remember the name of it. It was something like, I'm sure the song was called Producer, because that's the only lyric that I could actually understand, because he spoke with a very strong sort of Yardy accent. I don't know if they still call them that, actually. '80s. Let's have a look. No. It's just coming up with a band called The Producers, and it's not that. So no, I'm going to have to really look for that. Was it the Selector or maybe the Special? No, it wasn't the Specials. It wasn't Selector. I don't think it was Selector. Kirsty. But it was in that vein. It definitely wasn't the specials. Definitely not the specials. No. My sister would actually know this because she was into ska. She used to wear a Doc Martens and a braces and everything. Whenever I hear crash test dummies, I think to Buster, the crash test dummy in Mythbusters. Wasn't two-tone or ska. It was, I can hear it, had a trumpet in it, definitely the trumpet, definitely the brass section. The guy had a really sort of deep voice. It was really good. It was a really good song. Really good song. Anyway, let's come to another article. Hang on a second. Right. This is another stuff. It's not nonsense. This is stuff. This is from The Independent as well. 6th of February. Lost grave of Viking warlord discovered on English coast. Lost grave. I think this is brilliant, this. There's actually a video on it, so I'll link it afterwards. So you can go watch it. It's brilliant. Ivar the Boneless was a formidable 9th century warlord. Well, he may have been boneless then, but he's just bones now. And he's not a doctor. A hill on the West Cumbrian coast could be the long-sought burial mound of Ivar the Boneless, one of the most powerful Viking leaders to have ruled in Britain, an archaeologist has claimed. Ivar, also known as Ivar the Legless, must have drank a lot, or Ivar the Dragon, was a formidable 9th century Viking warlord who established a ruling dynasty in Dublin. He played a pivotal role in leading the Great Heathen Army during its campaigns across England. Despite his historical significance, his grave has never been conclusively identified. Independent archaeologist Steve Dickinson believes the Viking leader may have been interred with his ship beneath a large mound known in medieval records as the King's Mound. The site is considered by Mr. Dickinson to be part of an extensive and previously unrecognized Viking burial landscape. There's actually a picture of it as well. Only 16 pre-Viking and Viking age monumental ship burials are currently known in the region. None has yet been confirmed in the UK. Ship burial was practiced by some early medieval cultures as a mark of status and respect. Britain's best known example is the Anglo-Saxon ship burial discovered at Sutton Hoo in Suffolk. Sutton Hoo is interesting, isn't it? I love that. That's really interesting. There was, years ago, a Viking ship at Chatsworth Hall, just down the road from me. It was in one of the hallways. It's not there now because I've been in the last few years that I've lived here. It's expensive to get in. But it's worthwhile to go. But the thing is, you know, you just think, why do they need this house? Why does, her name's Deborah, and she's the Duchess, is she the Duchess of Devon? I think she's the Duchess of Devon and she lives in Chesterfield. Go figure. Rich people. Historians have long argued that Vikings not only raided but settled in Cumbria, a theory supported by the high concentration of Scandinavian place names across the county. Well, down the road from me in North Nottinghamshire, there's Ranskill, which stems from Ravenscourt, which is home of the Ravens, I think. And there's loads of other names in this area that pertain to Viking, sort of, you know, Nordic language. But then there are also the Saxon languages, like where I grew up, Kirk Sandal, which is church or sandal of the church or church sandal. I don't know. I don't think they meant Jesus sandals, though. I don't think that that's what they meant. I think though sandal probably means something else. Where's my producer? Ivor Bigger had that wanking song in the early 80s. Oh my God, where are we? Is that funny? Sorry, I'm in a really daft mood, and I'm not drunk because I can't drink anymore. So after this, I'm going to have a nice soak in the bath, I think. And the one thing that will be missing will be a glass of wine. Apple juice is just not the same. In 2001, a BBC television programme examined DNA samples from locations across England. Of all the sites tested, only Penrith in East Cumbria showed strong evidence of Norwegian Viking ancestry in the modern population. More than a quarter of men sampled were found to share a direct male ancestor from Norway. It was the same ancestor as well, I'm betting you it was. Something came up on my feed earlier. I decided not to talk about it, but I maybe should have done. You know what? I'll not mention it now, and I'll bring it up at some stage during the week in one of my live streams then, because it's one of those ones where you're just going to spit your tea out of your nose because it is just so daft. The first radiocarbon-dated Viking Age longhouse in England was identified in the Kentmere Valley in the 1980s, a small Viking cemetery uncovered in... Sorry, guys, you're going to know why I'm laughing in a minute. A small Viking cemetery uncovered at Cumwitton, near Carlisle, was later published by Oxford Archeology North in 2014. Yeah, and it's spelled C-U-M, Witton. Since the early 2000s, metal detecting has begun to reveal new evidence, particularly along the West Cumbrian coast. Several Viking Age silver hoards have been discovered, including one at Beckermet, now held at the Beacon Museum in Whitehaven. So that's interesting. Ivan the Boneless, Ivan the Legless, Ivan the Dragon. Not Ivor the Engine. I used to hate that program. It was really creepy. It was really creepy. I don't know. It was the animation of it. It just freaked me out. You know, there's some things, some programs from the 80s, 70s and 80s that were just really freaky and just freaked me out. Either come with everything makes sense. Ivor the Engine is a rip-off of Thomas the Tank Engine, but Ivor the Engine came first. Oh my God. That was not intended. That was not intended. What do I want fact-checking, Witchy? I can't remember now, Chris. Kirk Sandal, that's it. What does Sandal mean? Because Kirk, I think it's Anglo-Saxon, so I think it's Saxony, sort of, but I'm not sure what its Sandal is in, if it is Saxony, or if I'm just completely befuddled, because that could also be the case. It could also be the case. Guys, if you're watching the live stream, please hit the like button. And if you do want to comment in the chat, you can do so by subscribing, and you'll have to wait a minute and then you'll be able to chat. But my guys in the chat, my mods in the chat are brilliant at modding and brilliant at stamping out trolls. So please don't be a troll, because this is a laugh. I do this show just for a laugh. I think we should all start the week with a good laugh. Okay. So something that came up on the Manchester Evening News, like I said earlier, I read a lot of the local rags. I just enjoy the stuff that's in there because it's just, it makes more sense than the stuff that we see in the big papers. And I think a lot of these journalists and reporters do need a bit of, recognition for what they do. Actually, you can go away because I see you in a lot of stuff and I don't want to see you right now. Sorry, guys. It's check 2 holidays. No holiday for me this year. Okay, so this was from today, the 8th of February. It's in the What's On section by Stephen Rees. Sorry, my Welsh is not good. Alicia McNamara. Excuse me, the apple juice is making me burp, or it could be the pickled onions that I had. The thriving market town with 80 independent shops, locals say, is better than Manchester. And I'm going to have to agree with this. It may not be on many tourists' must-visit lists, but locals here say they can't think of anywhere they'd rather live. Half an hour from Sheffield and less than 90 minutes from Manchester, it's home to a thriving community, a stunning market, and a huge range of independent shops. Can anybody guess what town is being talked about here? Oh, it's frozen. Oh no. Have I lost the stream, guys? Oh no. Okay. Something's happening. You can all still see me because that's still working. So yeah. Bye, Jim. Thank you for joining. Thank you for being here. That's it, Billy. Chesterfield it is. Stream is doing a bit, it's been a bit shaky. Yeah, it's the cats. I'm actually, this month, I've got a whole list of things that I need to do, Kirsty, and one of them is change my provider because I'm not happy with the provider that I have at the moment. So I'm going to do some investigations. So yes, Chesterfield, the town of Chesterfield, which is just 9 miles from me, which I nearly ran into yesterday. That was quite a surprise when I was running yesterday. Meeting with residents and shop owners on a grey day, life in Chesterfield buzzes despite the gloomy weather. It's known for its historic crooked church spire, which dominates its skyline. In recent years, the town has begun to grow, with plenty more on the horizon. And guys, there's a shambles there as well, and it is absolutely brilliant. There's a witchy type shop. There's tarot cards to the ceiling and crystals and just beautiful stuff. And I when I do go to Chesterfield, I go in there quite a lot. The problem is the parking in Chesterfield. As you go into Chesterfield, there's a big, it's like a roundabout that's got parking in the middle, but half of it's now been dug up because they have been doing excavations there, archeological excavations, and found old, ruins and things there. So I don't know if there's more parking. I'm sure there is, but they have a lot of shows and stuff going on in Chesterfield as well, which is also brilliant. So I recommend going to Chesterfield. There's down in the Shambles area as well. There's an amazing vegan shop. I'm not vegan or vegan, however you pronounce it. I don't know. I'm not going to. I don't know which is right and which is wrong. But they do amazing coffee as well. So it's definitely worth going. You can find there's pubs. Everything's very oldie worldy, the typical black and white style buildings. And it's just, I do love, I do love Chesterfield. I really do. It's much, because Sheffield is big, but Sheffield, I get lost. Every time I go to Sheffield, they've changed the roads. They changed the roads and it's never the same direction. They were building loads of roundabouts years ago. Oh my God, that was a nightmare. I know Doncaster well because I grew up in Donny, so I do know Doncaster quite well. But I do like Chesterfield. It's a nice, everything's within easy distance, and the market in Chesterfield is amazing. The Doncaster market is good, but I've been to the market in Chesterfield and I think that it's not as big as the one in Doncaster, but it is really good. Sorry. Sorry, guys, I'm just going to read some more of this. Alec Chapman Taylor, 32, works at the Cheese Factor. The business has become a core part of the town, with travelling into Chesterfield for its cheese. With people travelling into Chesterfield, obviously Wallace and Gromit go a lot. There's a constant flow of customers despite the dull weather, he says. There's a new market square that's going to be like the new event square. It's fantastic. It looks a lot better. I think it's hard to be an independent business these days. I really do think it's hard. Luckily for us, Simon, who owns the place, has been there since the 60s with his dad. I've worked in the town for probably the last maybe 10 or 15 years. Chesterfield has this kind of unique position where we have the heritage here. So the town hall is quite old. Again, I'd say the market's quite old and traditional. It's been going on for a long time. A lot of people have family connections to them too, which makes it really special. Sorry, guys, a frog in my throat. He says one of the town's strengths is its quirky independent shops, and he estimates there are around 80 in Chesterfield. He adds the Davidson family had been running a cheese store since the early 60s. I've only been working here for 2 years, but I've lived in Chesterfield since the mid-90s, and I love it. I really love it. And I will say as well, for anybody thinking of moving and you want a good NHS system, Chesterfield Royal Hospital is absolutely brilliant. It really, really is. That's where I've been, and it is the only problem is the cost of parking and finding parking. But the actual hospital itself, the surgeons, doctors, everybody there, it's brilliant. It's easy to find everything. Highly recommend Chesterfield Hospital, Chesterfield Royal. So if you are thinking of moving, want to move to a place with good hospitals, definitely Chesterfield. Hi, Lana. How are you, my darling? You slept in. Good for you. Autumn. You can't do the hot and humid days of summer. Yeah, my friend, I've got a friend who also lives in New Zealand, Lana, and she said it's autumn there, and she likes autumn. And in fact, if you have a look at the top of the chat box, you will see there is a poll there just asking which season you prefer, whether it's spring, summer, autumn, or winter. Click on one of them, tell me which one you like. Can't find the parking, but the seating is good. Black pudding. I've never been a fan of either black or red pudding or white pudding. I don't know, just fat. I don't eat fat on meat, so I'm really weird. Donkey Dave gets his black pudding and pork pies from a local butcher in Chesterfield. Oh, that's interesting. That's very interesting. JD Vance is banned from every DFS store in the UK. Brilliant. Pork pies are replicas of Satan's balls wrapped in heartburn. Icky thump, black pudding. I don't eat pudding. I do like pork pies, but I can't eat them anymore. The pastry's too heavy. It gets stuck in my hernia, and then I'm ill for hours, so I can't eat it anymore. But I love the spice that's in the pork meat. Yeah, there are some. I will take a trip into Chesterfield at some stage, and I'll do some filming. I'll go when it's a bit warmer and it's not raining. Because after this race that I've got this Saturday, I'm not racing again until May. I was going to pick another race in March, but it's in Nottingham and it's a long drive, and it's like I don't really know the area that well. So I just think, no, you know what, wait until May. Because May it's back at Sherwood Pines again. It's a route that I know. I like the route. And then in June, I am running the cancer research one, breast cancer one. I'll be doing the Doncaster one this year because the one at Clumber falls on the day after the Foo Fighters gig. So there's no way I can get back from Liverpool after that gig and then be ready for a race the following day. So I've got to, do a different one this year. But it's okay because it's twice around the town field, so I can go and practice there actually and get used to it. It's pretty flat as well, whereas the one at Clumber, it's like that. Don't eat pudding. Greg's sausage rolls. I like the steak bakes from Greg's. I think the steak bakes are amazing. I do like the steak bakes. Okay, what time are we on? We're on 7:15. So I am going to read one more article, and this is very dear to my heart.